Hey guys, SteelerDude11 here. I'm back with another video, and the 2019 NFL regular season is now officially over. Um, the Steelers finished 8-8, didn't make the playoffs. They couldn't even win their game against Baltimore, even though the Ravens didn't start their good starters. Steelers lose 28-10. Is the third week in a row the Steelers can only score 10 points in a game. They lost to the Bills 17-10, then they lost to the Jets 16-10. Now they lost to the Ravens 28-10. Even if the Steelers lost, there was still a chance they could get in the playoffs. They needed the Raiders to lose to the Broncos. They needed the Titans to lose to the Texans, and they needed the Colts to beat the Jaguars. Two of those things didn't happen. Even if the Steelers won, they wouldn't have went into the playoffs because the Titans won. Because all the Titans needed to do was win their game, and they did. So, to be completely honest, it's probably for the best the Steelers didn't make it to the playoffs because they would just embarrass themselves against New England anyway. At some point, probably on Thursday, I will make an NFL playoff predictions video because my friends Player One Gaming and Fishing with Tyler will be over at my house. As you could probably tell, I'm not home right now. I'm at my grandma's house. I'm leaving at some point today. So the point of this video is basically just summarizing how the Steelers season went this year. So, as you all remember my rant video about the Steelers back in September, when the Steelers started the season 0-3 with they lost to the Patriots 33-3, then they lost to the Seahawks 28-26, and then they lost to the 49ers 24-20, which those losses don't seem so bad right now because the Patriots, Seahawks, and 49ers are all in the playoffs. All three of them are in the playoffs, and the 49ers are the best team in the NFC this year. Because even though the Packers and the Saints finished 13-3 as well, the 49ers both beat both the Packers and the Saints. So, and then the Steelers absolutely demolished the Bengals 27-3 in that Week 4 Monday night game. And then they lost to the Ravens 29-26 in overtime. And that could have been a win, but Juju fumbled the ball again, costing the game. And then after that, it was just win after win. They just kept on winning. It was like, what the heck? They beat the Chargers 24-17. Then they were on a bye week, and then they beat the Dolphins 27-14. And then they beat somebody. I can't remember the Steelers' schedule. It wasn't an NFC team. Or actually it was. It was the Rams. And they beat the Rams 17-12. And then that game that every Steelers fan wants to forget, that Thursday night game against the Browns, Steelers lost 21-7. It also had the Myles Garrett Mason Rudolph fight. And then that was just a terrible loss. I made a video about that game too. And then things started to look up, but then they went down. Like after that Browns game, they beat the Bengals like 16-10 or something like that. It was terrible. Then they beat the Browns. Don't remember the final score of that game, but I remember that they beat the Browns. I think it was like 21-10 or something. No, it was like the Steelers only scored 20 points, around only in the 20-point range in that game. And then after that, they played the Bills, or no, they played the Cardinals, and they won 23-17. And then the Steelers lose the last 3 games of the season. They were 8-5, and they ended 8-8. They lost to the Bills 17-10. They lost to the Jets 16-10, and they lose to the Ravens 28-10. Now, to show how terrible the Steelers' offense is, the most points the Steelers have ever scored in a game this year was 27. That was against the Bengals. So that means the Steelers have not scored 30 points this year in a game, and that's embarrassing. No matter if we had Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, or Devlin Hodges, just couldn't perform in our offense. The defense was pretty good. I mean, the defense could keep us in some of the games we lost, but the offense just couldn't score. Like, with Devin Bush has been a pretty good linebacker this season. I do like that pick, not just because he went to Michigan, but I knew he was going to be a great addition to the Steelers' defense because he's a very fast linebacker. The Minkah Fitzpatrick trade, I wasn't too happy with that at first, but then I started to like Minkah Fitzpatrick. He became a very good player. He's even in the Pro Bowl. But the thing I don't agree with was that we traded our first and third round pick for this guy. We also traded a 5th round pick for a Seahawks tight end. So the Steelers don't get this many picks in the draft this year, which kind of sucks because you see how the way the Steelers played this year. This has been a disappointing season. I thought last year was bad because the Steelers went 9-6-1. This year was worse. It went 8-8. That is better than the NFL predicted that. I mean, NFL Network predicted that the Steelers would finish 7-9, and they finished 8-8. So the Steelers had 1 game better than what they predicted. I predicted that the Steelers would go 9-7, but they went 8-8. So they did one game worse than what I thought. Ravens won the division. There was no question about that. They finished 14-2, best team in the league actually. If they win the Super Bowl, that will be no surprise. So I'll explain how the playoff picture works now. I'm sure you already know. They haven't. Well, as of I know, they haven't announced the times yet. I know they have announced it now, but I haven't looked at it yet. So, like I said, I'm gonna make a playoff predictions video on Thursday. The in the AFC, the Ravens have home field advantage, and the Chiefs have the other second seed because everyone thought that the Patriots were going to get it because all the Patriots had to do was beat the Dolphins, and they would get it. And the Patriots even played their starters because, they had to because they really wanted that second seed. But somehow, some way, the Patriots couldn't beat the Dolphins, even though back in week 2 they beat them 43-0 in Miami. This game was in New England at home, and they lose by 3. No miracle this time, but it was just I don't know. I don't understand what happened. I don't think that the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't even think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. To go back to the playoffs, so the Chiefs had to win their game, and they had to have the Patriots lose to Miami, and that happened. So the Chiefs had number 2 seed. The wild card games, the Patriots will play the Titans, and the other game, the Bills will play the Texans. Now, I'm pretty sure the Patriots will beat the Titans, but they'll go on and play the Chiefs in the next round, and I don't think they're going to win that game. The furthest they could make it is the AFC Championship against the Ravens, but I don't think they're going to make it that far. The first Patriots are going to make it is the divisional round. All right, and then go to the NFC. 49ers have the home field advantage. The Packers have the divisional bye. The wild card games, the Saints play the Vikings, and the Seahawks play the Eagles. So that's how the playoffs will work. I will go more into predictions on Thursday with Tyler and Ethan if they're up for it. I'm pretty sure they will be. So this season has been a disappointment. You know, I mean, the middle of the season was great because the Steelers kept winning and winning and winning their games. And then they just started they lost their first 3 games and they lost their last 3 games. And they lost 2 games in between. So the Steelers could have made the playoffs if they would have just they needed to win 2 of their last 3 games to make it to the playoffs. And I thought it was going to be the Bills and the Jets. Then the Steelers lost to the Jets, and lost to the Bills. And I was saying, okay, so we're still good. If the Steelers can just win, we should probably be fine. But they couldn't even beat the Jets. And then Week 17 comes, and then couldn't beat the Ravens, and the Titans won. So the Titans take the number 6 seed. Even though the Steelers were in the driver's seat for it, and then they lose to the Jets. So, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure it's for the best that the Steelers don't make the playoffs because they're just gonna get humiliated by New England anyway. I think the Titans might have a chance to beat New England. Like the analysis for the Colts Jaguars game yesterday said that he thinks the Titans are gonna beat the Patriots, and then if the Titans do, then great. I'll be really happy. I mean, if there's a team that I want to win the Super Bowl this year, it would probably have to be not the Ravens because since I'm a Steelers fan, I hate the Ravens. I mean, the Chiefs are always good. I'd probably say maybe like the 49ers because the 49ers have been pretty bad the past few years. But then again, if the 49ers win, then they'll be tied with the most Super Bowl wins with the Steelers and the Patriots. You know what? That doesn't really matter. You know, the Steelers just need to perform better so they could get number 7. But that's probably not going to happen for a while. So, 2019, I predicted Steelers would go 9-7. They finished 8-8. So, not the best. Steelers finished second place in the division. The Browns finished 6-10. And the Bengals finished 2-14. Bengals finished as the worst team in the NFL with 2-14. Their only wins were against the Jets and the Browns in Week 17. Here are the 4 worst teams because in my bedroom, I have like these mini fat heads of all the NFL teams, and I have 4 of them on the bookshelf in my room, and those are the 4 worst teams. So this year's 4 worst teams are the Bengals at 2-14, the Redskins at 3-13, the Lions at 3-12-1, and the Giants at 4-12. So those are the 4 worst teams. And they just announced this morning that the Giants fired Pat Shurmur, which is for the best. Yesterday, the Browns announced they fired Freddie Kitchens, even though he was only there for a year. The Redskins are looking to hire Ron Rivera. The whole thing of the Jaguars firing Gus Marone, was just a rumor. The Jaguars haven't fully decided if they wanted Marone to stay another season. I think the best new coach this year was the Packers' Matt LaFleur. They went 13-3. The worst new head coach was the Bengals' Zach Taylor. They only won 2 games. I think Mike Tomlin is going to stay. I don't see the Steelers firing him. Because Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record at the Steelers. The worst he's ever went was 8-8, and that was only once before, and now he went 8-8 this year. So, he's never had a losing record at Pittsburgh, which is pretty good. Alright, so that's the jingle. Gotta cut this video at the end here. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already. And this was basically my 2019 season ending video. I can go more in depth. I can make a video with Tyler and Ethan explaining how we felt how the season went. Anyway, Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Alright. Peace, brothers.